Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am MartineFelton and I am an artist and illustrator. I am going to be talking about, as you can see in the title, 5 tips to help you deal with color overwhelm. And my first tip is to take the time, number 1, to take the time before you get going, before you get drawing or painting, to take the time to choose colors before you sit down to draw or paint. So this is all from experiences because I have huge color overwhelm. In the past, for me, I would just sit down and be like, all right, what do I want to make today? And it's bad enough that I have all these mediums in front of me, right? So what am I going to use? Am I going to use markers, pencils, paint, crayons? What am I going to use? And then, then you get into the color, the color. So choose your colors. Choose your colors first. Figure out what you want to draw or paint and choose colors that you feel go with that subject. Okay, choose your colors first. Second tip is to invest in a color wheel. Okay, color wheels are super important to an artist and very helpful to a beginner artist. I mean, they're very helpful all the way around to whether you're, experienced or not. But for a beginner artist, when I first started painting and drawing, well, first I started painting first and then I eased into drawing. The color wheel was very helpful to me. Color wheel can help you with basic color theory and assist you in knowing what colors are complementary. You can, it can give you, depending on what color wheel you decide to purchase, harmonious color schemes, monochromatic colors, stuff like that. It is super helpful. Okay. Tip number 3. Swatch, and more swatch. I am not a big swatcher on camera. Like, I don't make swatching videos. I really don't, because I don't watch them. So I don't tend to make videos that I myself wouldn't watch. But I do swatch in my sketchbooks, and it's very helpful when you are overwhelmed by picking colors. Swatch. An addendum to this tip, number 3, is swatch your favorite colors. Swatch your favorite colors by medium. Okay, so you will have a swatch sheet, or if you have, some artists have like entire sketchbooks that they dedicate to swatching, which I think is awesome. And I really should do that myself because I have all these loose random sheets. But anyway, swatch your favorite colors by medium. So let's say color pencils, for instance, like a luminance. If you have luminance pencils, swatch your favorite ones. If you have Neocolor 2s, swatch your favorite ones. Your favorite watercolor markers or alcohol markers, swatch your favorite ones. That way you have colors in front of you that you can refer back to. You can get the color inspiration by just looking at these pages filled with swatches. You know what I mean? It really does help. And mixing colors. Within that time that you're swatching colors, try to mix colors if you can, if the medium allows, blending colors together, and take note of which color you're using when mixing with what that gave you this end result. So remember to take notes, because I know it's fun in the moment swatching and mixing, and then you come up with this awesome color, but it's not going to help you moving forward if you don't take note of it, write it down. Yeah, write down the colors that you actually used to mix, you know? And tip number 4, use color palette, color resources, color palette resources, like books that have color palettes ready made. There is something called Color Cube, which I invested in. I invested in the digital one. I didn't buy the actual cube with the cards in it. I got the digital one. So I bring that right up on my iPad, and I can eyeball the colors, and if I want to pick a color from that, I'm like, hey, I like that color. And it's by categories, it's by subject. You can enter keywords in. It's like a little database. And you can enter keywords in, and then it'll bring up all the palettes that that keyword falls under. You know what I mean? So it is super, super helpful. They're ready-made palettes, colors already there for you to choose from. And I find that for beginners, that would be really, really helpful as well. So the last tip is use colors from reference photos. Like, we all use reference photos, right? But reference photos are not only for drawing the subject in that reference. You can use reference photos for the color too, along as well as composition. It depends on what you're looking to do, but we tend not to think about using a reference photo for color, but you can very well use a reference for its color too. If you know that you want, like, if you're trying to draw children playing, or children playing outside, and you look up a picture and it has children playing outside, you can use the colors in that photo. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of ways that you can get over the overwhelmingness of choosing colors and feeling like, oh, I'm using too many colors, or I'm not using enough. There's a lot of resources out there, and a lot of tips on picking your colors. And I feel like once you get going, once you have like a process going and a workflow going, you're going to be able to choose your colors easily, and it's going to come to you naturally, to the point where you can just sit down, and maybe you don't have to choose the colors beforehand. It's just going to be natural to you, and you'll just pick colors, from what you have in front of you. So those are my 5 tips. To recap: number 1, choose colors ahead of time. Number 2, invest in a color wheel. Number 3, swatch your favorite colors by medium. Very important. And when you're mixing colors, take notes. Okay, know what you're mixing so that you can do it again. All right. Number 4, use color palette resources like the Color Cube, or there are lots of color palette books out there for artists. And number 5, use reference photos for color. All right, guys. So I hope these 5 tips were helpful for you. I know they work for me, and I just felt like maybe some beginner or intermediate artists out there would find these tips helpful as well. All right, so I'm going to leave you here for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to make it to 1,000 subscribers this year in 2025. Okay, so that is all, and I will see you next time. Take care and bye.